Scores of dead fish. The kokanee were first spotted a few days ago, and now provincial fisheries biologists are trying to determine the cause of the die-off. But as Blaine Gaffney reports, it isn't believed to be the result of human activity.
Head out on the lake and noticed the kill-off of these fish, which we were quite alarmed.
Thresher scoops some into a net.
They're about 6-inch kokanee, and they're right across the lake, both sides, and in masses.
Thresher says the discovery was worrisome.
Being startled, and of course you immediately think that the lake's been poisoned or something, but then we realized that it was just this particular species of fish. They look fine. They look fine.
Except that they're dead.
Except that they're dead, yeah, but they're not scarred up.
Provincial fisheries biologists haven't pinpointed the cause of the kokanee kill.
Okay, Donnie, in a related story here tonight, a second fish kill of the year by mid-July now has a riverkeeper quite concerned tonight. This all started last week, and you can still see the hundreds of dead fish.
We've seen a really interesting diversity of species.
But he says the number could reach as high as 1 million.
It worries me, when we see the fish kills becoming more severe.
Tonight, a horrific discovery in this creek. Dozens and dozens of dead birds found along the banks.
Heather, neighbors have no idea what's going on. They're trying to get to the bottom of this right now. Nancy Chinevere has lived along the creek for 11 years, some of her neighbors 2 decades longer, and no one remembers seeing birds dying in such large numbers.
It's just nature, and it's beautiful. And when something like this happens, it's traumatic. It's very upsetting. Floating ducks, dying ducks, ducks on the shore, ducks everywhere. They were dead.
Right now on Virginia Beach, some residents are wondering what killed hundreds of fish near the Stumpy Lake spillway.
Long sent 10 on your side photos after noticing them on an early morning run at the Virginia Beach Chesapeake line.
I first noticed the stench when I was about halfway from that curve over there at Elbow Road, and it was just overwhelming. And then I got here and I saw the many piles, and I figured something was up.
She'd never seen anything like it in her 2 years in the area.
Biologist Don Kramer is searching this small Dallas Road beach for dead seabirds, and it only takes moments to find them.
So there's one there. Oh, and I see there's another one on the beach down there.
A retired professor, Kramer now monitors seabird fatalities in Victoria for Bird Studies Canada.
So this is the species that people have been saying has been turning up dead quite often.
And at least 20 have been found dead on Victoria beaches in the past week.
That would be extremely unusual to find that number of dead birds.
And as Kramer combs the beach here, the number climbs even higher.
It's all one species.
From his first look, Kramer says the birds appear in good shape, like they aren't starving and like they died very recently.
So there's something happening.
Scientists say it's too early to tell if this is the beginning of a large die-off event. But since seabirds are an indicator of ocean health, what exactly has happened to these ones could be a sign of a much deeper problem.
That's the concern, is that this might be just the start of something that's larger, and it's important to document at the beginning.
Up and down Indian River Lagoon, you will see this. Thousands of dead fish, belly up.
On Okanagan Lake, scores of dead fish. The kokanee were first spotted a few days ago, and now provincial fisheries biologists are trying to determine the cause of the die-off. But as Blaine Gaffney reports, it isn't believed to be the result of human activity.
Head out on the lake and noticed the kill-off of these fish, which we were quite alarmed.
Thresher scoops some into a net.
Thousands of dead fish, belly up.
On Okanagan Lake, scores of dead fish. The kokanee were first spotted a few days ago, and now provincial fisheries biologists are trying to determine the cause of the die-off. But as Blaine Gaffney reports, it isn't believed to be the result of human activity.
Head out on the lake and noticed the kill-off of these fish, which we were quite alarmed.
Thresher scoops some into a net.
They're about 6-inch kokanee, and they're right across the lake, both sides.